My name's Jim Calafiore. I've been working in the industry for 38 years on Aquaman, Deadpool, Exiles, and a whole bunch of other books, and now my new creator-owned property, Ned, Lord of the Pit. And I'm on shit.
Splash pages.
Fuck.
Excelsior!
Hey everybody, I'm Drew at Splash Pages, and we have somebody I'm really excited to interview. We have Jim Calafiore. You might know him from his run that he did with Peter David on Aquaman. He also did a lot with Judd Winnick and other creators on Marvel's Exiles. But first, how are you doing today, Jim?
Good. A little tired, last day of the show.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm running on full sleep, but I don't want to talk how I got there. So I have to ask. I'm a huge Exiles fan, and I kind of feel like I have to thank you in some way for it because if I were correct, you were offered to do some sort of like it was like a contest or a pinup thing, and you drew Nocturne, which was Nightcrawler's daughter, and that got selected out of all of them. And they're like, "Hey, we're thinking of doing like a thing, like and we want Nocturne in it, like." How'd that all kind of come together?
Well, the genesis of it was they did a Millennial Visions book, it was called, of, I think it was 25 years since the new X-Men.
Right.
And they had a lot of creators do pinups of their versions of the X-Men in, say, like the next 20 years. Right. Originally, the Exiles book was going to be an anthology book based on each one of those pinups.
Okay.
I think when Judd got involved, he said, no, he wanted to do something else. He wanted to do more of a story.
Right.
And he created the Exiles team and the whole concept of jumping realities. And yeah, Nocturne I created in the pinup was the only character from the books, from that book, to actually get sucked into the regular series. So that was cool.
Well, I mean, like you said when we talked last day or Friday, and you got to write her origin in Exiles 41 and 42. You wrote it and drew it yourself, so you got to explore that world even more. So you created her and you created her world too. So double bonus, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I pitched it to the editor. I said, you want to do a quick fill-in? And I can elaborate more on the pinup, because the pinup had some text with it, explaining who they were.
Okay.
So
I have to ask, and I know if you, but I believe I read an interview that you based an Exiles character on Grant Morrison.
yes.
So and it's funny because I've been pouring through, and I am still trying to figure out who it is. Do I still have to keep searching, or do you mind saying who it was?
I can't remember the character's name.
All right, cool. It's gonna be a mystery told down from Exiles on. I still don't know, and neither does he. So that is mystery is lost. But you know what?
I can narrow it down.
Okay, you can narrow it down.
I can narrow it down. It was during one of the arcs with Hyperion, where he was, and I remember that it was during the arc where a ruined division who was half destroyed was in it, and the character was dating, I think, Storm, or in his backstory he had been Storm's lover, and he had a tattoo down his face. That's all I can remember.
Great. We'll figure that out later, everybody. Can't wait. So the other thing, and I'm sure you get this a lot, is your collaboration with Peter David on Aquaman. I mean, you guys, metaphorically, you put him through the ringer. He lost his hand, he lost his kingdom. He had an entire different costume, but it was a lot of fun. And, you're working on that and exploring DC. What was that like, working with Peter David on rebuilding the character?
Well, it was cool. I mean, it was my first job after leaving Valiant, really. I mean, I did a couple things for Marvel. And I always liked the character. The editor didn't know I always liked the character. They called me in to fill in like on issue 5, then I did 10, and then I just kept filling in and then finally took over the book.
Right.
And did a long run. And I've been lucky in my career. I've worked with a lot of great writers, and I've been very fortunate that way. And I got to work with Peter David. And that was a blast. That was when Peter David was sort of at the top of his popularity. He was doing the Hulk and a whole bunch of other books.
Right.
And it was just fun stuff.
Listen, I thoroughly enjoyed reading all of it. I was a little sad when I felt like a lot of them changed the things you had laid down, but that's comics.
Yeah.
Eventually everything you do will be undone by someone else, I guess. But seriously, and on top of it, I want to say I always loved the horror kind of aspect I always felt you brought to a lot of your work. I would always love that things were a little darker, but like kind of a little humorous too. So just props to you. Like, is that something you aimed for when your work, or is it just kind of like, oh, just kind of happened, like a happy accident?
No, I'm a dark person.
Okay, good.
So I'm always putting that edge on things. And I always seem to get characters like that in books like that, and that's my creator-owned book I'm working on right now is a supernatural comedy
Oh, good.
with zombies and a whole bunch of other stuff in it, like that.
Okay, I can't wait to check it out. And everybody, check out Jim's work. Some in the past, some in the future, some in right now. So check it out, man. I think you'll definitely be impressed. We'll still be here at Terrificon, Splash Pages, and yeah, stay tuned.